In ancient times, Keeper Mimiron experimented with various creatures inhabiting the forests around Ulduar using a mineral known as Kaja'mite. One such species gained great intelligence and industrious behaviour from the Kaja'mite, becoming known as the Goblins. These creatures were later known to have assisted Neltharion, later known as Deathwing, by crafting the adamantium plates which held his body together, which the Drogbar then placed on his body. However, when the Sundering occurred, the goblins were cut off from their supply of Kaja'mite, causing them to lose their accumulated intelligence. Incidentally, goblins share a common ancestor with pygmies. Thousands of years ago, the Zandalari discovered the island of Kezan, inhabited largely by goblins. The trolls also discovered Kaja'mite on the island, which they saw as helpful for their various rituals. While initially mining the ore themselves, or occasionally employing goblin workers, the Zandalari turned to enslaving the goblins and forcing them to work in the mines once they discovered the true size of the Kaja'mite deposit. Over time, however, the goblins started regaining their intelligence due to always breathing in Kaja'mite dust and, 100 years before the First War, rebelled against the trolls, armed with technology beyond what the Zandalari had ever achieved. Afterwards, however, the goblins immediately turned on each other until an easy truce was established, with their new society, named the Trade Coalition, divided into countless factions, the most important of which were the cartels. The goblin supply of Kaja'mite is currently running out, especially following the eruption of Mount Kajaro on Kezan. Partly as a result of their need for the mineral, the goblins expanded across the world, eventually developing their extremely commercially oriented nature. Even in ancient times, the goblins had an obsession with shiny trinkets, hence how the Zandalari managed to employ them, so this change came naturally for them. One goblin cartel, most likely the Steam Weedle, was employed by the Horde during the Second War, assisting them with sappers, equipment, zeppelins, as well as using giant turtles captured by the Storm Reaver clan as submarines. Most goblins quickly abandoned the Horde once the war turned against them, however, and sent emissaries to the kings of the Alliance with various trade offers, most of which were presumably ignored, but ensured, at the very least, a lack of retaliation from the humans. Goblins have a notorious rivalry with gnomes, though they sometimes work together for various ends. One such example was the Mirage Raceway, built by the goblin Pazik and the gnome Fizzle Brass Bolts as a competition between goblin and gnome engineering. When a cataclysm flooded the area, however, the goblins and gnomes banded together and built Fizzle and Pazik's speed barge over the former racetrack. Another example was the Mogul Razdunk, president of the venture company, who hired the gnome Gerinzo Wrenchwhistle, formerly one of the head engineers of Nomergon, an arrangement which garnered the disapproval of all the trade princes of Undermine. The greatest chef on Azeroth, Dirge Quickleave, is a goblin living in Gadgetzan, renowned for his clam dishes and his Chimerok chops, a recipe which includes goblin rocket fuel. The greatest chef on Outland is also a goblin named The Rock.